What is up, everybody?
What is up, everybody?
A very special Sunday night edition of From the Hill.
A very rare and will never happen again edition of From the Hill.
So I would like to tell you that the reason that it's Sunday night is because it took me longer to set up all this fancy new equipment we got here, Nick.
No, it's not true.
But that's not true.
It's not true at all. Tell them why.
Yeah, well, I had some revelries yesterday.
Don't say we.
Well, you were there.
I was
We had
there,
a couple of revelries.
but then I left,
Yeah,
like most people do.
I didn't.
You stayed.
I had a long day.
You closed down the AT club.
The AT Club, yep.
They have your picture on the wall.
Yep, now I'm back. No, that's not true. I didn't cause any trouble.
And I got a text. What was it? What time was that?
It was probably around midnight last night.
That our 8:30 start time was now pushed back.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen, unfortunately.
8:30 start time, no good. So we had to push back to what time is it now?
It's about 7 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
6:37. But you know what? We're still going to do a great show, and actually we're really excited to be setting this one up because, as you can see in front of you here, we've got the mixer equipment that you had seen us. I tested earlier in the week, and we're really pumped about it because it's going to give us the ability to do some road shows, and I know Nikki's excited for some road shows.
Road shows are my favorite.
Yeah, get set up. We've got some ideas where we want to take this, especially, outside, different spots, so we're pretty excited about this equipment here.
And give us some of your own suggestions.
Yeah, so as we get into that, of course, as you listen to From the Hill, remember, all of the content will be timestamped in the description portion of the video. You know what, though, to Prop's point, I heard some rumors this week of some positive reviews getting floated around about the show, but they're not getting put in the comments section of the video. So I'm not going to put anybody out there on the wire right now, but
All right.
if I don't see these reviews go up in the video, next show we're going to start calling some people out who are giving positive reviews but not throwing them up, in the comments of the video.
That's always good. You want to throw everybody you can under the bus.
Yes, I just want to run them over.
Right.
We're here to alienate listeners.
Yes, that's what we do. Hey, we also need to give a shout out to Mike Barignac.
That's right. Tell him
And
Mike.
Mike B and the Widener football team. Special shout out to you guys. Thanks for following, listening, subscribing. We really appreciate it. Mike's doing some big things with the Widener football program. I think he's offensive coordinator.
That's big shout outs to Mike B.
He's putting some plays together
Yeah.
for the Widener Pride this year.
We appreciate you guys listening and subscribing and checking out the show. I got a birthday shout out, Jerry Murphy. Happy birthday, big guy.
We do a lot of birthdays.
A lot of birthday stuff. Yeah, man, people want to hear their birthdays. You know what I mean? It's very special.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Prop, this week I wanted to get us a logo, right? And if you follow the show now on YouTube or you follow me on Twitter @JRip18, follow.
Good Lord, this chair.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You're gonna fall backward in that chair.
It's comfy.
So I put a message up on Facebook that I was looking for a graphic designer, and what I was expecting to get was just some
Bots. A lot of bots.
dude.
We
So
got a lot of bots.
what I expected was to just see, like some friends of friends say, "Hey, I got a friend who's a graphic designer," and then they tag you on there and they start hitting you up. I am not kidding. I got 100 DMs in the first 10 minutes.
And we came back with some good drawings, designs, and stuff like that. Which I don't know what you have in store for the release, but
Yeah, big stuff. You can see the logo right now up on the top of the page on YouTube, and like I said, it's all over our social media, so you'll see it. But we got some stuff in the work for merch with that. That's cool. But yeah, like literally, man, I was getting DMs from people from the UK, like India, broken English, and they would send like their whole profile, and I was like, whoa, this is intense. But hopefully, so another big shout out to Lauren who actually came through and hooked us up with a logo. So
yeah,
I'm pretty pleased with it. So that's pretty cool stuff.
You're gonna get the invoice for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got the invoice.
Cool. Yo, so we do have to set up our own Twitter. We're huge on Twitter.
That's true. So
in our own individual rights now.
Yeah. So we're gonna have our individual Twitters, but we will have a From the Hill Twitter coming with the email. So we'll put all that out once we get that set up, so you guys you don't have to follow me directly or Nick directly, even though you should. You can just follow the show on Twitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of Aaron Nola tweets that you need to follow from my Twitter.
Yeah, Nikki's on the baseball path already.
I'm ready to get it going. It's nice enough outside. It's baseball season.
So before we get into a lot of sports content, I have a quick question for you, Nick, because this came up for me this week. When you were growing up, did you have crossing guards?
I saw this. This was a weird question, so I'm really interested to see where this came from. Starting, I want to see where this question was generated from. But I did not have a crossing guard. I was a bus guy.
Yeah.
I was a bus guy.
Yeah.
I I took the bus everywhere when I was a kid.
But you didn't have
school,
crossing
and-
guards like getting to your bus stops.
Nah,
and
they
all
took
that?
us right to the school.
Really?
Right to the yeah. There was one lady. She's still there.
This is where I'm going.
It's always 70 something.
Nice old lady,
yeah.
retired, comes
How
out.
you hooked up with that?
So
that
that's
job?
I wondered that myself. But so here, obviously, Swags as a younger Swags was here in Bridgeport, and they have crossing guards on like every corner coming down the streets here. And it would even be for if you're going to your bus stop or if you're walking back from the bus. Right there,
You hit one. Didn't you? You hit one.
I did not hit a crossing guard,
All right.
and if I did, I would never admit it on air. But so when we were kids, we used to torture these poor crossing guards, right? Because they would try and get you to wait before they walked out in the street, and we would just like run and just they want you to stay in the white lines. We would never do
I'm
that.
not on board with that.
Yeah,
man.
no, we were bad. But so I was driving on Tuesday, and I noticed there's usually the typical crossing guards, like I see them the same every single day, the old ladies. So there's a guy, an older gentleman now down the street at one of the posts, and he was on duty. He was out in the middle of the street.
Just like out doing his thing, like holding up traffic.
He was into
All right.
it, man. Like,
Good.
usually the old ladies just kind of waddle out and hold the sign.
Yeah.
Dude, he was giving the old like signals and everything. Bro.
Listen, and I think that's why they get some older folks to do that because they've seen some things.
Sure.
But they have, if you're applying for that job, you have some energy.
Oh yeah.
Right? You want to do the job right. That's why you have like the Walmart greeters.
Oh, absolutely.
They really are genuinely happy that you're there.
Oh, I agree. I'm pro crossing guard. It
Right.
just was strange to me, and I wanted to commend this gentleman. He was really into his job. Man.
Good for him.
He was really into it.
Now with that, I didn't have a crossing guard per se, but I went through some bus drivers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
so
got good bus driver stories?
no, man, like they were kind of scary.
Really?
Yeah, I
Did
was
you guys
always
miss
scared.
the on the bus? I bet you did.
I was a safety.
Oh, you were legit. You were trying to
I
enforce
really,
the law.
I just wanted the belt. I was there for the belt and nothing else, and I wanted to sit in the back of the bus.
You got your orange belt with your badge.
Yeah, it was
Safety
a
badge. Were you giving people shit for walking the hallway without their hall passes?
No, that wasn't me. But I was the one on the back of the bus that if somebody got out of hand, a fourth grader, a fifth grader got out of hand. Hey, listen, this is the bus.
Okay,
all right. You keep it in line on my bus.
Yeah, no yelling on the bus.
Not on my watch. All right.
13 bag lunches.
So yeah, I didn't have the crossing guard. I did have the bus driver, but thank God for them.
Yeah, I mean they're doing the yeoman's work.
Yep. So going back to Twitter, did you get anything on your boy?
I did the Johnny Manziel weekly update. He still has not tweeted the show. Johnny, where are you at, bro? I need you. I'm gonna have to purchase my own comeback season gear now because.
What is this gear?
So he's got it all up over his website, all over social media. Like he's got hoodies, he's got shirts. I was gonna get a hoodie, and he had one actually on sale this week. But we're getting into like the warmer weather.
You need to do things to sell product. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he's got it all over, bro. He had a pop up stand down Texas A&M where they were selling it. Yeah, he was doing good stuff.
A pop up stand. So I don't know if anybody noticed this, if this got into any of the comments, but did anybody notice my TB12 gear from last week's show?
Nah, I didn't hear anything about it.
I don't think anybody got it.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Probably because you couldn't see it, but I was super glad that not just because the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but on the TB12 shirts they have each year that they won the Super Bowl. So it's like 05, 16.
Right.
Like, so if they won the Super Bowl, my shirt that I just got a month ago would have been out of date.
Right.
And
They end up, well, you know where those shirts go. They end up going to all the pre-printed shirts. They send them over there. Like, there's all those funny memes about the little African kid dancing where it's like, oh, after the Eagles beat the Patriots, Super Bowl, and the Patriots Super Bowl shirts are coming.
It's not funny, Jack.
I think the memes are really funny. I'm sorry. I know it's not nice, but I think it's really funny.
Well, they got their share of New England shirts this year. I'm happy about that. So.
Yeah, we both are. But so on the Manziel side, what you said last week, actually, if you noticed on Twitter, I retweeted a video of him throwing. So they have actual footage. Of him.
How's he look?
He looks great, man.
Combine ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's ready to go.
We got some combine talk coming up.
Yeah, for sure. For
All right.
sure.
We'll see what he does and who picks him up. He's probably going to Canada.
Dude, are you into the Olympics, bro? Because
No, speaking of Canada,
I'm all in.
I'm not all in.
I'm all in. I am hooked.
On what?
Everything. So curling, dude. The U.S. men won the curling.
Did you wake up at 3:15 in the morning to watch it?
I would watch like the replays and stuff. I didn't see the gold medal round, but I would catch them all during the day, like or at night.
All right, I'm on board with curling.
Curling is awesome.
I like curling because I want to play it.
Yeah, I want to try it too.
I want to try it. I think I always wonder when I watch that, how do you get into curling? There's no curling sites around here that I know of.
There are. So I actually saw a thing on the news about this. So you can get into curling. There's a Philadelphia Curling Center where you can like sign up and go down, and then they'll teach you it. They'll get you all into it. They had a big feature on us.
So what probably happens with that center is every 4 years they get a huge pop, and then 6 months later they're out of business.
Yeah, everybody fizzles out. Well, I think that center's been there a while because they have their regulars and stuff. But yeah, you're right. Like right now, curling's never going to be more popular right now than it is.
It looks like a really, really fun game to play. Like,
yeah,
if we were at a barbecue and I mentioned this last week, if we were at a barbecue in sub-zero temperatures, we could play this game and it would be a lot of fun and everybody would have a good time. I'm more impressed with the kind of Michael Jackson move that they do down the ice.
It's not easy.
It's like some Marty McFly hoverboard stuff.
Yeah. It's future stuff. They got like a pad on their one shoe and they like scoot down on it and balance.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
I'm more into that because I did check in on the women's team playing Sweden. Did they win too?
Sweden. The U.S. women got knocked out.
All right.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right. But the men went on an epic run.
I didn't watch the hockey. Did you watch the hockey?
I was watching the hockey. I was into the hockey. The women's hockey was awesome.
3:15 at night.
Yeah.
You checked it out.
Well, I saw the replay.
Yeah, I missed it. I heard it was an epic game.
Awesome.
I'm going to catch it on ESPN Classic.
Yeah, it was great. Women's hockey won the gold. I'll tell you what was a cool sport that I really got into, biathlon. You
mentioned biathlon, but let's not get off hockey too quick.
Hockey?
I have a question. So what do women hockey players do in the not Olympic season?
I'm fairly certain that there's like women's professional hockey leagues.
We need to look that up.
Yeah, I would almost bet that there are.
It's fun. It's fun. I could definitely see myself getting into that. But it was a lot better that they kind of they peed in the Canadian Cheerios. And the men did too for curling, right?
Yeah, the men did as well.
So we're taking all their stuff.
We're taking Canada's stuff.
Good.
What else is new?
Good.
Well, so biathlon, dude. I was really into biathlon. So what that is, for everybody that doesn't know, this is sort of a unique game or sport. So it's a cross-country type of race where they're skiing around this difficult track of a course, and as they get to the end, they have a BB gun, a long rifle strapped to their back, and they have to shoot from 60 meters away, which don't ask me what that means in feet. I don't know. I'm American. I don't know how long meters are, but it's far. And it's something.
I think it's like I'm not even gonna say it because it's gonna be wrong.
It's gonna be wrong. I'm thinking maybe 100 feet.
What, for a meter?
For 60 meters.
Oh.
I think it's probably something like that.
I don't know. I have a conversion app on my phone.
Yeah, I could check it, but it's a pretty good shot. And what happens is the target is the size of a DVD, and you got 5 shots.
An out-of-date sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, they take old compact discs and you shatter them when you shoot your BB gun.
Yeah.
So, and they have to hit all 5 of the shots that they take. You get 5 shots, you got to hit 5 targets. For every target you miss, you have to leave the shooting area and then go on a penalty lap, so you lose time in the race. And they complete a bunch of circuits. So I was really into it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Is that part of the skeet shooting thing that we talked about last week, or is it the same thing?
Yeah.
So was that really developed by like European countries that would like kind of practice military stuff?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, because your best guys are like Norway, Sweden, right, the Netherlands, places where they've got some mountains and snow where they're used to cross country skiing, and they were doing this as, to your point, like military application because they're skiing with a gun and rifle on their back.
So how's the U.S. at stuff like that?
They weren't very good. I don't know if we had anybody that was even really good. I mean, like the guys, the best guys in the world, and they do this as like a sport outside of the Olympics. They were all from Northern Europe.
Yeah, and they would be, because that's where that's the weather that's there all year.
Yeah.
But
and the U.S. is more into skiing and snowboarding. You know what was interesting to me? Did you check out any speed skating at all?
No, I'm not interested.
Dude, you know what country has a huge speed skating contingent that I did not see coming?
Hold on. Let me guess. No, you tell me. I don't know.
It's our favorite Borat. Kazakhstan had like 8 speed skaters in the Olympics, man. I mean, I'm not up on my Kazakhstan geography, but it doesn't strike me as like a speed skating mecca.
No,
They had a ton on the men and women's side, dude. Kazakhstan, like every race I was watching was got people from Kazakhstan in it.
who knew?
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's another one that's like it's just too long. Do they have it's not like the 100-meter version of it?
Yeah, they do. That's my favorite one. They call it short track. It's only 500 meters.
Yeah,
it's
but
like 5 laps.
It's basically like they're going around a bathtub.
Yeah, and they have, like it's really fast. It's
Yeah.
5 laps around and it's quick. I love it. That was my favorite one. Yeah, the short track is awesome.
Yeah, I can get into stuff like that. I wasn't into the speed skating. The one thing that I do have to say though, I think the reason I don't get into the Winter Olympics that much is there's a lot of sports that are judged. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like-
I do.
Even the snowboarding, I get it. It's a cool aspect. It's more of an X Games thing, if you ask me, and like they kind of just bite off of the X Games or whatever.
Right.
But like anybody that's just sitting there like, yeah, that was better than the other guy because of this,
Right.
that, and this.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I'm with you. That's why I'm not into figure skating.
Figure
anymore.
skating.
Yeah.
We've talked about figure skating.
Yep.
It's completely different than ice dancing.
Yeah.
Ice dancing. Why?
I don't know.
Why
Yeah.
and how?
You know, I'm actually with you on that, and that's why I enjoy
60 meters. 60 meters is 65 yards.
So that's 180 feet. Yeah, that's a good shot. It's almost 2 football fields.
It's 196. It's almost
Yeah,
197.
so basically 2 football fields. That's a long way away to hit a CD-sized target with a BB gun.
Yeah.
So it's impressive.
Sorry, I threw you off the thing. I don't like the judging aspects.
No, agreed.
Because they're corrupt people from
Yeah.
whatever country. You don't know where they're from.
Anything that's objective is fine. That's doing timed races and such. But anything that's subjective, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of. That's why.
So that's why I'll take something like curling over.
Yes, because
I like the figure skating.
it's fun. But again, I can't tell what a good run is or not. I'm listening to the commentators telling me if it is or not.
Yeah, you know it when you see it.
Yeah.
Stay away from ice dancing.
So, all right, we're gonna jump into full-on sports. We got a couple quick hitters we want to do before we jump into the big stuff. But NFL always in the news. Combine coming up next week. Nikki, you interested in the combine?
I am. I do like the
You like
combine.
the combine?
It means nothing,
It means nothing.
but I do like to see the athleticism displayed. I like to see how many times you can lift 225 pounds.
Yeah, that's always
Can
a
you
good one.
can you do 225 and how many times?
Yeah, I can rep 225.
How many times?
It's been a while, but I mean, I easily get 5 or 6. After that, I'm not sure.
5 or 6 right now.
Yeah.
I think I can maybe do that right now.
Yeah.
I used to be able to throw it around.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't. I would always go to the gym by myself, so I'm really never like going with somebody else to try and max out.
Now I-
265. Like I'm never doing that.
Now I probably can't do it.
Yeah, like I
I'm out of shape now.
yeah. Well, you're losing weight. It's good. Getting in shape for softball.
I'd like to see who the fastest guy is.
That's good.
I'd like to see who the strongest guy is.
You know who's going to benefit a lot from the combine?
Josh
Because-
Allen.
Yeah, because he's such a good athlete.
Josh Allen is he's skyrocketed now.
Yep.
It's now a month ago he was the number 6 or 7 pick.
Yep.
Now he's the consensus number 1. What happens?
Kuiper's 2.0. We put him up there. Well, because this is what's going to happen. This is the meat market, and when he shows up, he's going to be so impressive physically because he's huge and he's got a huge arm. And the other guy who's going to benefit, I think, is Lamar Jackson because he's going to show up and he's going to run a great 40, and he's so athletic that's going to skyrocket him up some people's boards. You know, the question with him is he going to get a chance to play quarterback?
I think he should. But I read a thing about Josh Allen today that was on Twitter, and it said he is the best athlete to come out of college football since Cam Newton. Like that's a reach, isn't it?
I think so. Actually, yeah. Here's what I heard. A great comparison this week. And you know, this is a tough topic for Nick and I to discuss because we're 2 white guys, right? But there's been a big thing around not letting Lamar Jackson try and play quarterback in the NFL because of his race. And Marcellus Wiley was.
Who said that?
It's been floating around actually a lot. Marcellus Wiley was on the
Sports Nation.
Well, yeah, he was on with Will Kane, and they brought that up, and Marcellus flat out called a spade a spade. He goes, "Look, I played against the best athlete to ever play the quarterback position, and that's Michael Vick, and he's certainly no Michael Vick in terms of his athletic ability.
Yeah.
And even Vick, as a runner, couldn't sustain it in the NFL. So what makes you think that
Well, there's a difference. What's the difference? Michael Vick had a cannon.
Well, yeah,
Like a laser.
that's what I'm
cannon.
saying. Vic was a better passer than Jackson, and he was a better runner. So, you're taking like Vic Jr. here. I still think he'll get a chance to play, and he might be able to do it. But I question the fact any quarterback comes into the league that's one read, two reads run, it's never going to last.
No, the bottom line is you don't know. You don't know anything because you don't know what type of system does he come out of.
Sure.
Does he come from the pro system, and what if he does, and who's coaching him, and who thinks he can project. And that's what all this is the projection of everything.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before. It's all, you said, the meat market, right? You go and you see what looks good.
Yep.
What can you mold? What can you make? And Josh Allen's obviously going to fit the bill, but at the end of the day, quarterback's more than just a Greek statue.
Right. Yeah, he's got to be able to make progressions, make anticipation throws.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
What so?
To Josh Allen.
What happened to Darnold that he fell? Is he even coming out?
Dude, he had the most interceptions. He's coming out. He had the
I
most
know.
interceptions in Division I last year.
I know.
That's what happened.
And I wasn't a Darnold guy, but then just looking around the team, I don't like the USC quarterback history. It's well documented.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I think overall, as far as the throws that he can make, I think he makes all the throws.
I think he's got a chance. I think that I don't know with these guys.
You know what sucks is all these guys come out and you look at them and it's a huge run up to the draft, and then once the season starts, you don't even think of them.
Yeah.
You don't even think of them. You don't talk about them because they're all sitting on the bench.
Right.
Is Allen going to come in and start for Cleveland?
I mean, you would hope not, right? I don't know why they would throw him to the wolves right away. I think it's a recipe for disaster because that team stinks.
So then you sit and you watch them and you don't talk about them until
next year.
Until next year when we're talking about two other quarterbacks that are supposed to be playing for the Browns now.
But yeah, until we talk about the Browns' next quarterback. You know what the problem is too, and this happened this year, even with like Mitch Trubisky. The plan always is we're just going to let the kid sit a year, but then the team goes like 0-8, and you go, well, let's just play the kid. And you never know if that's going to be a benefit or not. And clearly for the Browns, it never is a benefit because the guys get beat up. They probably get their confidence shot. God knows what the Browns are just the Browns.
Well, there's a difference. So when you move up in the draft like the Bears did to get Trubisky, I think you need it in the back of your mind like this kid's going to come in this year. You don't have a year to waste in football.
I just remember hearing them say that they wanted him to sit a year.
That's a really hard thing to ask. Because
like 16.
So in baseball, you can draft a kid that's 19 years old and you can say, oh, he's got a couple of years. But yeah, he's going to be playing 140 games in the minor leagues.
Right.
When you're a quarterback, you come right up into college, you're sitting behind whoever.
Right.
Like, if they want to sit you, you're getting reps, yeah, but you're not playing actual football. There's a big difference.
No, and that's a great point. And we talk about this all the time with college coaches or college quarterback transitioning to the NFL. You got to get used to the speed, right? And you got to get used to not throwing guys open.
That's the difference.
Like that, everything. You're not in college. A lot of these guys are making. We talk about this all the time. The throws, the guys are already open, right? Like it's the system that gets them open. They make the throws. In the NFL, you got to grade game speed. You got to throw these guys open. You got to know your progressions, your routes, and everything.
Yeah. So I just don't like the game plan of sitting guys for a year.
Okay. Because
they get stale, they don't pick up the speed, and then once somebody gets hurt and then they gotta go in. Now it's not you're not playing against Northern Iowa. You're not playing against
You're not even playing against even top teams like Bama. You're playing against NFL talent.
Yeah, so I think that's especially for teams that move up in a draft to pick somebody, just like the Bears did for Trubisky, like the Chiefs did for Mahomes.
Well, see, Mahomes sat all year last year. I think that's great.
Why?
I think it's great. I think it's good to see, to learn.
He's in a different situation. So they didn't move up to 2 in the draft together.
Sure.
But Jack's going to say, don't throw up on the mic.
No, see,
you had a rough night last
this
night.
fancy mixer here so I can turn the mic volume down.
Oh, wow.
So
he did that on purpose.
Yeah, right.
He did that on purpose. Yeah, so I'll be tuned into the combine just here and there. I'm not going to sit there and DVR it, but
Yeah, I'm interested to see some of the stuff.
See who looks good in
But
shorts.
ultimately, to me, yeah, it's the whole thing, right? It's how you look in shorts. I only care about how you look in pads. Like, I don't care about how fast you run at 40. I really don't.
Well, it depends what position. I don't care how fast the quarterback runs.
No. I don't care how fast the offensive tackle runs.
No.
I don't give a shit.
All right.
So, NBA, we had the All-Star game. Nick, what did you think of the format for the All-Star game?
So when they came out with it, I'm like, this is a gimmick. I hate this so much. Why? I'm not going to watch this. I hate it. And then the game itself was the best part of All-Star Weekend, from what I heard, because I missed Saturday. The game itself was entertaining.
The game was great.
And you saw that LeBron is the best player in the league, undoubtedly, if you had a doubt. He took over. I don't know why he doesn't do this every night. Maybe it's because you can get hurt and your body wears out. But he was just like, okay, this is Team LeBron. I'm gonna show you why it's Team LeBron. He just went out and did whatever he wanted.
It was awesome. The game was incredible, and the format, I loved it. You're right. I actually thought it was very gimmicky, and it was something people were talking about they wanted it televised.
Yeah, well, that was I wanted to see it picked.
And it was awesome. So late in the game, I just happened to look up and noticed the guys on the floor for Team LeBron. Let me read this to you.
All right.
I don't know who coached Team LeBron, but they might have been trolling.
Wait. Is this defensive efficiency stats?
No.
All right.
We won't do any of that for the All-Star game.
All right.
So on the floor for Team LeBron, get a load of this.
Yeah.
LeBron, Kyrie, Westbrook, Durant, Paul George.
Pretty good. You know what?
Look at the dynamics there.
That might be like the Lakers next year.
You get Durant and Westbrook out there, like it was awesome.
Yeah, they're starting to get these teams built up. Guys are playing with each other, but it's surprising that that he took Kyrie and after everything that went on in the offseason and stuff like that. But
he wanted to win.
Yeah, it was entertaining, and I was really excited about JoJo went out there. Sorry, I have to swallow the mic so you can hear me. Yeah, Joel Embiid was a stud.
Joel was awesome. How about that play late in the game?
He's turning heads.
The funny thing was the commentator goes, it's late in the game, and he gets stuck on a smaller guy, and the guy goes right by him. But JoJo is just so good and so long and so athletic. The guy goes up for the layup, and JoJo blocks him from behind. He is so good.
Yeah, he's really exciting. They're playing tonight. They start at 8 o'clock tonight. They're playing the Wizards.
Oh wow, we should live stream that while we're
yeah, we just had Cavs Spurs. Did you check that?
No.
Yeah.
I was busy setting up for the show.
Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs won? Yeah, Spurs won. Yeah, Cavs succeed now. We'll see if the honeymoon's over for the Cavs.
But I'm telling you, LeBron does look like he's going after it. And it's like we said, he's going to pick it up. We know where they're going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're going to be 1 or 2 in the East, and they're ready to go. He's got his new toys in town. But again, it's funny to see how well that honeymoon period lasts with those new guys in, because they start, once they got the new guys, they're hot, but now I think they're 0-2 since All-Star.
No, I thought they won the other night. I don't know. We'll have to look that up. But
check it out.
They still look okay.
So the only thing that was odd about the national anthem.
Whoa. The only thing that was odd about the national
All-Star game was the national anthem.
No, there was a lot of oddities from what I read.
The worst was Fergie's national anthem.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I went. I had to go back and watch it because I saw everything popping up on Facebook, and people were saying things about Fergie. I'm like, what happened? So I was on the game, flipped off, and then came back. So with that, you can go back in time.
Yep.
And I watched it, and I started internally cringing. So the one thing about it though is because I did hear just the audio, right?
Right.
But if you watch it with the video, it's a lot worse.
Yes.
The video is a lot worse. She looks like she's a few cocktails in.
It's bad.
And she's just trying to be overly sexy. It was weird.
So this
awkward.
When I watched it live, and literally I look forward to the national anthem with these things, right? Because a good national anthem can get chills down the spine and can get you going and get you ready for something cool. But man, she just threw in these trills and stuff and just completely butchers the national anthem. And it got us thinking, everybody talked about it this week, was that the worst national anthem you've ever heard?
I don't know, because she didn't forget the words.
She didn't mess up the words.
And I've heard a lot where people mess up the words. That's a big deal, because obviously that's the essence of the song.
If you can't get the words right, it probably shouldn't have you sing the national anthem.
It was really awkward. Okay, I'm gonna give it the most awkward award. Okay. But since she remembered the words, I'm gonna give her a pass. I feel a little bit bad for her, to be honest with you.
Sure.
I kind of see where she was going, what she was trying
her
for.
Interpretative creativity, you saw it.
Yeah, and when you're asking, you have to know who you're asking to do these things. She's not necessarily a straight up singer.
No,
right?
You're right.
From a group that does some funky stuff.
Yes.
So I see where she was going, but it made people very uncomfortable.
Yes.
But if you're gonna watch it, the audio doesn't really do it justice. You need to watch it with the video.
And it's all over YouTube. So when you YouTube your From the Hill episode this week, you can YouTube like Fergie's national anthem, and it's pretty bad. You know, you're right. Actually, I want to talk about her as a vocalist real quick because I when I heard it, I went back and I listened to it again, and I was thinking, yeah, it's weird to have her sing the national anthem because she's not somebody I think of as like a pure vocalist.
Well, it got really fuzzy at what's the part when she goes way up.
Right, when
like,
she tried to hit those notes, she doesn't have.
It was at the end.
Yeah,
she went way up, and I was like, whoa.
So when I looked at that, I remembered her being in a movie that I saw from before, and I went and checked it out. And so she's in a movie in 2006. It's called Deciding. It's like about a sinking ship. It's actually entertaining, but there's a scene where she sings a song. And the song is good, but it's a pop song, and there's nothing about it that's vocally challenging. And then when I look at that, I'm thinking, who made the decision to let her sing the national anthem?
She's known for songs like My Humps.
Yes, My Hump.
She's known for songs like...
she's in the Black Eyed Peas. Like, she's not a vocalist. She's like adding over rap dubs inside.
Listen, she has a good voice. I get it. You know, she wouldn't be my first pick, but I feel bad.
So my official vote is because the other ones that came up this week were the Carl Lewis national anthem.
I think
where he totally butchers it, like he can't sing at all, but then he's like, "Oh, hold on, I'll get it back."
Why is he singing that?
I have no idea. That one's bad if you want to bail. But the worst one I've ever heard. So I give Fergie the worst from an actual singer that I've ever heard, but the worst national anthem I've ever heard is Roseanne.
I knew you were going there. Yeah. Well, obviously, you know what you're getting there. Right. Again, know who you're asking to sing.
Whatever made someone think that Roseanne should be doing a national anthem?
I don't know.
It's horrendous, and I hate Roseanne. By the way, her show's coming back on. I don't. She's not
no, that's a good show,
dude.
That was a really good show, and you know who was really, really good in that show? My man John Goodman.
Well, I love John Goodman.
John Goodman. Thank God he's still around.
God bless.
Yeah.
But other than that, I hate it. I hate the show.
And the three Beckys that they had back and forth.
Yeah, Becky.
I love that show. That's a good show. Don't knock that. Suburban Chicago. No, I think the worst one for me, and it's the only one that comes to mind with somebody that forgot the words. When I watched Christina Aguilera, I forget where it was. Christina Aguilera forgot the words.
Yeah.
And that's actually more uncomfortable.
I agree. It's really uncomfortable when they forget the words. And you know, it's fine when it happens to like I've seen it happen at shows or events where they have like just a little girl singing it, right? And then like the crowd has someone will come out and like help her, so it's fine. Yeah. But when you're a professional singer, it gets embarrassing. You can't do that.
Yeah. Agreed. So another awkward thing, I heard about Kevin Hart doing introductions.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that either.
I didn't see that either.
That was the one I flipped away, and I was coming back and forth.
Okay.
So what was weird, and I saw all this stuff again on Twitter, was that the game was supposed to start at like 9.
Right.
And I came in at like 9:43, and they had just wrapped that up. Apparently, it took forever.
Yeah. So you're right, and I actually, because I had put out a long shot on the MVP, right, and so
which was who?
Joel Embiid at plus 2,000. That's some value there.
Not bad.
Yeah. So, and I put it. I was waiting. I forget what I was doing, but I checked my phone to see if this was going to start, and it's 9:30. The game hadn't started yet, and I'm going, what's going on?
I was surprised I caught it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be halftime.
I'm like, what's going on here?
All right, so did you catch the dunk?
The dunk?
The dunk contest.
I didn't.
You didn't see it?
I saw the highlights, but I didn't watch it live, no.
I didn't either. Who won it?
Larry Nance Jr. got beat out by kid for the Jazz, young kid for the Jazz.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Tom Mitchell.
Yeah, so I did write down a lot of things that I thought were going to be part of it, but since you didn't see it, maybe we shouldn't go through it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw the highlights. Larry Nance Jr. did a highlight, like we talked about, did like an homage to his father and his dunks, which was really cool. And when I saw the highlights, and I think this was a popular opinion, I think Larry Nance Jr. won it, but Mitchell ended up like getting it, like he got robbed.
I have a list of things that I predicted that would happen in the dunk contest.
Well, all right, let's hear it.
All right. I can't even read here. Okay, so it was just young and up and coming stars. It was no actual stars that we want to see dunk.
Right.
On an up and coming team, obviously. So you said the two guys that were in it, Nance and who else was in it?
I can't even tell you the other two were, to be honest.
All right, so I predicted that a current player of note assisted in an alley-oop.
Probably, I don't know.
Can you confirm?
I can't.
Someone else of note was jumped over. I did see Kevin Hart was jumped over.
Yes.
Dr. J was present.
Always.
Dominique Wilkins was present.
Always.
Spud Webb was probably in attendance.
Probably.
There were Sprite cards given out
Yes.
to everyone.
Yes.
There were way too many 10s given
Yes.
by everyone.
Yes.
They showed Vince Carter dunks.
Yeah, but so that's actually a cool one though, because Donovan Mitchell sort of did a homage to Vince Carter, and he did like the windmill 360 pull down dunk. So he had done some Vince Carter highlights tribute, so that's why they did that.
Okay, so that actually goes into another one of my predictions. Where was it? Someone wore something flashy or changed clothes pre-dunk.
Yes.
He did that. All right. Props were used, similar to the cupcake that. Did Carmella do that? Remember somebody blew out the candle on the cupcake?
That was a good one.
Something was placed on the backboard or rim. Players were shown running away in disbelief after a dunk.
Yes.
Like a
Like a hype video. That's always a given.
All right, so that was pretty much it. That was pretty much all my predictions. Probably a lot of them came true. So
predictions sure to come true.
Yeah, I think a lot of them did. So if they did, put them in the comments. Since neither of us watched it.
Yeah.
Who won the 3-point?
No idea. Great. Yeah.
Great sports show.
Not a clue.
Oh boy.
Not a clue.
All right.
Let's get into actually a real topic here in the NBA, and it's double time, because the first part of it is a lot of trouble this week for the Dallas Mavericks organization. So they actually had two employees get accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault. The first is actually a pretty big deal. So the CEO and team president for 18 years.
Was he current? He wasn't current.
No, he left in 2015, but he had been there for 18 years.
And where did he go? Do you know?
He's just out of the industry. He actually, when they talked about him, the guy's name is Taradini Usure.
Yeah, I think he was working somewhere else though. He was with Under Armour.
Right. He got out of the NBA team, but he had been. They were talking about grooming for a while to maybe be the next commissioner for Adam Silver
of the league.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what this guy was respected in basketball that much. But he got accused of sexual harassment and touching. And what I heard was there was many stories, but one of the worst ones was they were at dinner and some of the female employees there. He turns and makes a comment to them that they were going to be involved in. They couldn't say it on terrestrial radio, what the guy actually said, but since we are not on terrestrial radio, we can say it.
I don't know what that is. What's terrestrial radio?
Like FCC sanctioned, and they can't say bukkake, because that's what
he
said.
On,
said
man.
That she was going to be in a gangbang.
Dude, I got family that watches this show.
Dude, I'm just telling. This is real reporting. This is real reporting.
Keep it clean.
He had said that was what she was going to be doing that weekend, and when she denied it to him, he said it again. No, you will. And those were the kind of stuff that these women put up with. The crazy part was they said they felt better in the locker room. Because usually in the past, women don't want to go in the locker room because it's tough and the athletes, well, they said everybody in the locker room was great, but these guys are total animals in the front office.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second, but I guess what happens now is you look at Cuban. That's immediately where you go.
So right away, is that a poor reflection on Cuban?
Absolutely,
it has to be, right?
Yeah, you need, as the owner of a franchise, and it's the same with any business. It's the same as the owner of any business, as the CEO of any business. Is you need to know what's going on at all times, and if you don't, that's part of your job.
Yeah, and he's the CEO and president of this company, yet this guy's running wild, right? This isn't some middling sales guy or mid-level guy. This is a guy who worked side by side with Cuban every single day. So the fact that this stuff went on is really bad. There's a second employee too. So a Mavs.com beat reporter, Earl Sneed, he got convicted of domestic assault, and then he had another accusation of it. He actually couldn't travel with the team to Canada because of his conviction when they played the Raptors. Yet they kept him employed there for all that time. And then again, he is getting accused of this misconduct towards women, the domestic assault, and the lewd comments and such. So Mark Cuban actually had to come out this week and fire him.
Yeah, and obviously, but you start to look at why wasn't he involved more so up front? Why wasn't he aware of these things that were going on? Because when you are somebody in that position of power, you need to be aware of that stuff. And it's it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but at the end of the day, that's how it is. Like,
Yeah,
you're just responsible.
Agreed.
You know,
And to me,
even if you didn't know, you're responsible to know.
that's right. Well, it's like we use the analogy, right? Like head coaches are the ones that get in trouble when their players, they have a ton of players get in trouble because they're ultimately responsible for the players and their conduct. That's
Right.
part of the deal.
Yeah, same
You know,
same concept.
You're Mark Cuban. You're a hands-on owner. You're ultimately responsible for this stuff because you employ these guys. And look, this one is inexcusable because they knew that he had his past. The guy couldn't go to Canada
Yeah.
for games because of this.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm a big fan of Mark Cuban. I don't know that much about him other than from what I watch on Friday nights on Shark Tank.
Right.
You don't really know that side of people.
Right.
But you think somebody successful like that would be smart enough to know how to avoid any such situation. But then he dug himself another hole.
Yeah.
Probably a less serious hole. When you look at it across the board. But he was in the news a couple times this week.
Yeah, he was. So the second thing that happened here after that is he got fined $600,000 from the NBA for his comments about tanking. And basically what he basically said was, we're better off tanking than losing.
Right, and this is where, this is one of the reasons I do like him, because he's right.
He is right, but here, and Nick and I are going to argue about this, so everybody that wants to hear us argue, here we go. This is where he's got to be smarter. Again, you don't say it. Don't say it. Can't say it.
He's been saying that there's a problem with this in the NBA, and he's been saying it for a long time. So he's going back 5-6 years. I remember him proposing solutions to the NBA. He went and he said, we need to do this to avoid basically what the Sixers just went through.
Right. Well, so you
the
think
process.
Right.
And tanking and because it really is, the league you can rebuild a team through a couple years of drafts if you're that bad.
Oh yeah, of course. But the thing is, everybody knows that and everybody does it. You're just not allowed to talk about it. Look, Sam Hinkie would still be employed with the Sixers if he didn't talk about tanking in the process.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So if it's under the radar, this is now an organization, the NBA, where they've been talking about getting involved in gambling.
Right.
And they're allying with gambling associations and things like that. I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. It's one that we're going to
cover. And that's why they're upset about these comments and why he got fined, because you can't have that.
That's right. Well, you can't have it at multiple different levels. The gambling aspect is a huge one, right? Huge. Because you can't have teams saying they're intentionally losing, right? And the whole thing about it is, when he says that, the defense is, well, the players are out there still playing, but the truth is they're not putting the best players in position to win or getting better players so they lose on purpose.
Yeah,
so
they want to lose.
lose.
So one of the solutions that he came up with, and I think it was a pretty good one. I would be on board with it. So if you are in the bottom three, if you finish in the bottom three, you're not eligible for the first overall pick. So in other words, you need to scramble and fight your way to be at least fourth worst.
Right.
So at least you're playing for something.
But see, to me, and I understand these are decent ideas, right? The lottery system in itself already sort of sets it up so that you can't have that, because even if you finish with the worst record, you don't have the best chance to get it. But here's my problem with that. Then what you're going to see is you're going to see 70 games of tanking and then 12 games of trying to win.
Well,
like
so what?
You're going to see teams do the same thing.
So what? Then, so from the gambling aspect, it's less predictable.
Yeah, I think that the problem itself is more just systematic of the sport than it is like fixing it through tanking. Because no matter what, if you want to get a better draft pick and you have a bad team, then you let go of all your best players. Or
so what's your solution?
I don't have a good one.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. He has a solution that would work. And so what you're saying is, okay, they're going to tank 70% of the season. Well, they're tanking 100% of the season. What's the difference? The difference is at least you get some kind of product out there that people are consuming and paying money to see.
Well, my point is,
on television.
It makes it even worse, because at least like with the Sixers, I appreciated more what Hinkie was saying, and that we're going to lose, and our fans are behind us losing because here's where it's going to go.
Why wasn't
front office losing?
Why wasn't he fined? Why wasn't there a fine?
Oh, he got fined
for what?
For his tanking comments before.
Hinkie all right, so I'm not. Let's say he made no comments.
Oh, and by the way, if we want to talk about like Hinkie and what happened to him, he lost his job over this. They forced him out because the NBA forced Hinkie out of the front office because of this tanking, and because the NBA had enough of him being so vocal about it.
Well, it took him how long?
3 years, and they put Colangelo in place, and he, then we get into the whole Fultz deal and all that because he felt forced to make a move with all the assets that he had drafted. So they stockpiled.
3 years of tanking.
Right.
But
look at the team.
Whether or not he was fine.
Look what he did.
I know that, but that's now the formula.
Sure.
So they need to change that.
Yeah.
That can't be the formula.
But it's always been the formula.
They took advantage. They found a loophole. They took advantage. They won.
Why didn't anybody complain about the Cavs tanking to get LeBron? Why didn't anybody complain? Like, the Cavs had the first pick 3 out of 4 years.
It's a lot different back then.
It wasn't. It's just
because
Hinkie said it.
No, it was a lot different back then because you could get kids out of high school that you didn't know how they were going to pan out. There were kids that came out. I forget the names. What was the kid in the draft with LeBron? He was supposed to be. What was his name?
Darko?
No,
he was from overseas.
But you used to be able to get kids out of high school. Some of these kids would grow up and they would be LeBron and they would be Kevin Garnett.
Well, yeah,
and they would be
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, and some of them would be
Sebastian Telfair.
I think that might have been him.
Yeah.
So,
who, by the way, might have the coolest Sports Illustrated cover ever because he's from, I think, Staten Island, and they have a picture.
I remember it.
Holding 2 basketballs when he jumps on the trampoline.
It was like in the sky. It was
yeah.
I remember exactly
one
what
of the
you're
coolest
talking
Sports Illustrated.
So that leads into another thing. I don't know if you're ready to get there yet, but we're going to get there right now. That leads into the one and dones.
Yes.
And everything that's going on with the NCAA right now.
Absolutely. So we had this is great, and it's actually a great.
So go back to how it was before.
Right. Well, so let's talk about this. So this is actually really interesting, and Nick's right. It's a good segue of what we were just talking about with guys like taking chances in the draft, guys coming straight out of high school. So obviously, what's going on in the NCAA this week? And it's funny. I had wrote up a whole full write-out because we've got conference tournaments next week, and we got the tournament, the NCAA tournament, in like 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to talk about it. Well, guess what? That's all got turned on its head because now we are in this huge scandal mode, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the Wild West again, and this is the NCAA and the NBA and all these systems' fault. So what Nick's alluding to is these one and done rules are having kids go to college for 1 year, go to college, right?
And it's basically now what we now found out. It's a bid process.
It's the highest bidder. So the big one that broke here, obviously before this one, we had the Louisville issue, which got which got Pitino out.
So that's not in the same class.
Well, I think it is, and I'll tell you why. Here's what happens. The stripper thing, was a bad deal, whatever. You can't do that kind of stuff. But the thing
you can't have a brothel going on?
Yeah, you can't do that. That's not cool.
Oh, okay.
But the thing,
I'm glad you sanctioned that.
Yeah, I'm out on that. You can't do that, guys. That's bad. So what they actually did, though, where he really got in a lot of trouble is it's the money. And what was going on is it's these shoe companies that do the contracts with the guys. And Pitino's getting like $1 million cut of a $2.5 million deal. For who? For what? Because this is all backhanded money that's trickling down to the players. So Sean Miller, Arizona's head coach, there was just a report yesterday. He was caught on a wiretap talking about paying a kid to come and play there.
$100,000.
It is.
And it's the kid that played last night and actually killed it.
It is.
He had a triple-double or a double-double in the first half.
Blue chips, Coach Petey Bell, get me the friends of the program and get me these kids. Ricky Rowe sitting there across from you going, guys, I really like to come to university, but I guess it leaves a little business we got to discuss.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's a lot of things in the article and a lot of things that came out. Some of them are, meals at like Outback, and others are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right, and to Nick's point, there's 2 sides to this coin, and on the NCAA side, I could go for hours about how these kids are taken advantage of and don't get paid enough. Case in point, if you watch the Fab Five documentary when they talk about Jalen Rose, and Chris Webber wasn't on there, but Mitch Albom, who's a Detroit Free Press reporter, talks about Chris Webber a lot and says, if he was hiding hundreds of thousands of dollars, I never saw it. We'd walk around and a kid be begging me for pizza money. Like, That's how it was. But that we walk down the street in Detroit and we pass a sporting goods store, and for sale in the window is his number 4 Michigan jersey. Yet he doesn't have any money to get gas or take his girl out for pizza. Like this system where they can't get meals or that sort of thing is absolutely ridiculous. Now the flip side of that is the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's what starts to bring up your eyebrows because you can't be paying these amateur players to come to school there. It's the basic concept. You can't do it.
No, you're right, and it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy of the schools because they basically want the Phil Knights. They want the Under Armours. They want the Adidases, right? They all want that stuff, but then the things that come with it, to bid on these one and done kids, now they cheated, right?
Oh, 100%.
They cheated. It's against the rules.
Yep.
There's no excuse for it.
Nope.
But, you're almost, as the NCAA, you're almost asking for these sorts of problems.
Yes, you set yourself
up.
up.
When you have Adidas reps that are there every day. These kids know them by heart, so that when they come out, they are ready to go with Adidas, right?
Absolutely.
They're just being groomed to be Adidas guys or 100%. Nike guys, or is Reebok even around anymore?
Yeah, well, Adidas owns Reebok, but yeah.
They're in the CrossFit game, but it's really kind of ridiculous. And then the coaches, they cash in, right? So when you see this culture and stuff like that, and then you see a lot of these kids are coming from nothing. So
absolutely.
So if you offer them a meal, come on.
And why would they not take it? See, here's the thing about this, right? You by implementing this one and done rule, you're forcing kids to go to college who have no interest in going to college. I'm going to use a kid right here in town as a great example. Dude, Ben Simmons knew he was going to play in the NBA when he was 14.
Yeah, and he was the one that actually came out and said it. And he was like, I'm not taking this.
I'm not going to class. He doesn't give a shit. He's there for the first semester to just do the minimum, and then he plays the season, and then he's done because he's the number 1 overall pick. And what you're doing now is if you're Ben Simmons and you get forced to go to college because of a stupid system and a stupid rule where the NCAA is exploiting you and these colleges are exploiting you, you can't get paid. If somebody comes up to you and offers you a handful of cash, why would you not take it?
Right. So the NCAA wants the star power. They want all the attention. They want all the star players. When Kevin Durant came out, it was Texas got a lot of spotlight, right?
Sure.
They want all that stuff, but then they don't want
they don't want this.
They don't want this stuff happening. It's inevitable.
The acclaim, you make the great comparison, right?
Because Adidas isn't getting in trouble.
No, hell no.
Nike's not getting in trouble.
No, because they're not held to the NCAA rules. They don't have to worry about that stuff.
So I think
pushing product.
I think what should happen, and this might be far fetched. It is far fetched, but whatever. You should have no logos on the uniforms. Don't have the Jordan thing on there. Don't have Nike on there. Don't have Under Armour on there. It needs to go away. If you want it to go away, get rid of it.
I actually don't agree with you. I think you're trying to make a good point, but the problem with this is the horse is left at the barn, right? The cat's out of the bag. This is never going away. And really, the first step is the one and done's have got to go.
Yeah,
that's got to go because these kids, like I said, Ben Simmons when he was 15. These kids knew.
No, but they don't want that.
They don't want that.
NCAA doesn't want that.
They don't want that, but it has to. It just has to happen because what you're going to see now more of, and it's already starting to happen, is kids go play overseas instead of go to college because at least you get paid there. What do they go to college for? There's absolutely no reason for them to go to college. And
yeah, there is. There is a reason for them to go to college. It's there's a
not these kids.
There's a social aspect to college and things that kids, especially coming out of inner cities and things like that, can experience.
Right, but these kids that are going to be top 10 NBA picks have no business going to college. They don't want to. They just want to go to the NBA.
Yeah, but
all they're doing is wasting a year. Right, that's my point, though.
Yeah,
they're being forced to go because of this stupid rule.
Sorry, I might not have heard you.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, and honestly, I don't know how to fix it overall, but I'm so excited for what's coming on here with the FBI because I can't wait to hear the rest of the shoes drop. Like it's awesome to me. The Wild West is back, baby. Paying the players. Like I can't wait. This is awesome because I love the corruption of these universities, the NCAAs. I love to see it crumble, and this is what does it.
Yeah,
this is what does it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. My solution is get rid of the logos on the jerseys, get rid of endorsements of Mike Krzyzewski and of Tom Izzo and of the Rick Pitino's of the world. Get rid of all that stuff. Get rid of the one and done, and you solve your problem. You have a worse product. You have a worse product, and you're gonna have less eyes on your sport.
But that's the way it's gonna be. Like once these kids started making the jump from high school 20 years ago, the college product was always gonna get lessened and lessened because these kids that could go to the NBA straight through were gonna do it. They're gonna take the money. They're not gonna go to college. And this one and done rule, for whatever reason, it doesn't make sense. It's got to go. And the other side to that too, when I think about the one and done rule, what it really is doing is it's spitting all over the idea of college. What you were saying, for people that like want to go and participate and go to class and do the social things and they get their education, you're bringing this kid in here basically just to say
all that
you are a hired gun.
Warm fuzzy stuff.
Exactly. All that other stuff is gone. You're just bringing a kid in to be a hired gun for a year, so your team's better, and so your coach can get paid. And the real problem with that, with the endorsement deals and all that, is that these coaches are the stars. These coaches are the friggin' stars, man. They're everywhere. And they can just leave whenever they want. The kids can't transfer, right? They get locked in. Like, we just strangle these kids and just use their athleticism and just say, well, it's for college, It doesn't matter that we make millions of billions of dollars on these kids and they don't get paid.
That's why I respect Calipari, because he just comes out and is like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's why
he cares about the kid.
Well, he tells
he's like, yo, I'm gonna get you in the NBA.
That's it.
I'm on here for a couple months.
That's why he's been the most successful with the one and dones, because he tells them, look, you come here, play for a year, have a chance to win a national championship, I'm gonna put you in the NBA. Then he's hard on the kids.
He's the only one that's come out and just like embraced the whole deal.
Right.
And I don't know if he was in this report at all?
No, I don't think he
But there was kids from Kentucky, wasn't there?
Probably. I mean, everywhere that he goes, he's sort of had allegations, of that kind of stuff going on.
Part of me that thinks, when I hear about government investigations of sports and stuff like that, I think
find a better thing for them to do they had to do at the time.
Like, can you put those man hours elsewhere? There's a lot of other things going on.
I mean, it's exciting for us because we get to talk about it, but yeah, there's probably other things they could be looking into.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes out. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming out, and there's going to be investigations, and there's going to be behind-the-scenes reports, and there's going to be, documentaries and stuff like that. To the extent, who knows? Who knows what the biggest name that's going to come out of it is? But
I agree. So more to follow.
The Arizona one was the big one.
Yeah, more to follow on this. We're not going to talk about the games or the tournaments or anything. We'll probably cover that next week, just because this is so huge.
And probably because I don't know who's going to win anything, because it's such an open.
It is actually.
Villanova lost again yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Purdue's on skid.
Yep. So two things I wanted to touch on with that is an interesting thing. So our sharp money man, Jay Bone himself, he put a bet in on Virginia at 6-1, I think a week ago, to win the whole thing. So he likes Virginia right now. I think my problem with Virginia is they're always the same team. They're a great defensive team, but they never have offensive firepower. And then inevitably one game in the tournament they just can't score and end up losing.
And you're probably going to see that again, because I don't see him going anywhere. I like the big boys, the Villanovas and the Dukes, to step up. Now Michigan State's making a little bit of a push here.
Yep.
I had the rankings around here somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm going to save them on here. But
we were talking about this.
It's so hard. It's just a weird year.
It is.
Where nobody's standing out head and shoulders above.
It feels so wide open this year, doesn't it? Like, it feels like there's usually you say you got like 8 to 10 teams you think can win it. I feel like there's 32.
Yeah, there's a lot this year. Like, I think Wichita State's on a crazy run right now. There's a lot of teams that are just like coming up in the rankings. There's a lot of teams that are going down. Oklahoma was like, oh my God, Trey Young.
So that's one.
But he had a big one last night, I think.
He did. That's what we're going to talk about actually once we get through the season and we talk about pro prospects. Is Trey Young's pro prospects? That's been a big topic amongst the circle around here in sports. Is what's Trey Young's pro status looking like? We're not going to touch on that yet.
Gonzaga. 11-game win streak.
So you notice one thing I was talking about too this week is when we talk about teams that you think are good, listen to the teams you rattle off first, right? We talked about Villanova, Virginia, Duke, Michigan State. We're so biased, and it's not our fault. When you talk about college basketball specifically, you get a lot of a regional bias. Like, we're here on the East Coast, and so we see a lot of the East Coast team games played. I don't catch a lot of Pac-12 games because they start at 10:45 at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I have a lot of the top teams that I think of are the teams we just talked about on the East Coast teams because they're here and see them.
Well, yeah, but these are the rankings too. I mean,
well, yeah, sure.
Xavier's up there.
Yeah, Xavier's the highest they've ever been.
Yeah, Auburn is up there, not that high. They're kind of in the middle of the pack, but there's just like so many. There's such a cluster. Like 4, 5, 7, 6 losses. Texas Tech's up there. Cincinnati, UNC.
Yep.
It's all the usual suspects. Kansas is.
Yep.
Purdue's not a usual suspect,
No,
but they're up there.
Kentucky's down this year.
Yes, Kentucky's not even on this first page here, and that's like the weird thing, because usually going into the season, you can say, all right, the number 1 seed is going to be Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, and UNC.
Yep.
And now it's like not like that.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I like the parity, and that's one thing that's great about the tournament itself, right? Because it's just one game. That's why it's so exciting. So we all love it, because any team can beat any team on any given night, because it's just one game.
Yeah, and I need to start paying attention more to some of the locals like the St. Joe's, the Temples, and stuff like that. I used to be a big Temple guy and follow every game.
Yeah, we got TU followers of the show.
Right.
Ooh, TU. Yeah, go TU. All right, so next thing we wanted to cover, and I know Nick's super excited here, is baseball. And, there was a big thing this week in baseball. Obviously, one of the things we talked about was free agents, and I saw J.D. Martinez went to the Red Sox.
Yeah, he missed out on probably $100 million that he was looking for. Went to the Red Sox. They're gonna have a pretty good lineup this year. If everything works out, everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, he's a big addition for them. I know that makes our Wisconsin correspondent happy because he's on his fantasy team, and he's gonna be a doubles machine this year off the monster.
Yeah, I said that he's one of the guys that I would go out and get. Now he was supposed to get like 210 million for like some ridiculous contract,
right.
And he ended up getting like 110,
right?
Which is nothing to sneeze at. But in the middle of that lineup, with somebody like Betts, I think Betts is going to have an up year again because he's going to have Martinez right behind him there. So the AL East, as usual, is a powerhouse.
Yep.
And you still have a lot of guys out there that are looking for jobs. I had a list of them together, but I think Logan Morrison got signed by the Twins today. Arrieta's still out there. He's still floating.
Phillies talks for him.
Yeah, and today Kapler came out and he said Nola's going to be the starter, so he's going to be the opening day starter. Yeah. So maybe Jake Arrieta can be our number 2. That would be nice.
That'd be nice. That's a nice one too.
Yeah, so Arrieta's still out there. There's I think Hosmer got signed up. Did he go to San Diego? I think.
I didn't see it. You're right.
There's just a lot of guys out there that are, like I said last week, I think baseball is now putting themselves in a position where they're not overextending themselves. They're not gonna sign these outrageous deals. And Scott Boras, I think they're like all Boras clients. I think it's like Jason Worth and like
Boras guys.
Yeah.
All of them.
So he made a lot of people a lot of money, and he did pretty well for himself too. But I think he's kind of painting himself into a corner here. I mean, the games are started up. The season's ready to go, and it's just. I like the way it's playing out. I know you disagree with me, but some of these guys are not worth the money that they're asking for. J.D. Martinez may be one of the guys that's worth his money.
When we talk about J.D. Martinez this week, the thing about him, what he brings to the table, which you don't see a lot of anymore, is that offensive power at shortstop, right? Because
J.D. Martinez?
Yeah.
He doesn't play shortstop.
He does, doesn't he?
No. No, he doesn't play shortstop. Never mind. He's gonna be he's probably gonna be their DH.
You think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna DH for him.
Okay.
Yep. But when he went over to the Diamondbacks last year, he brought some pop to their lineup. I think he had I don't know if it was record setting, but the second half of last year he was unstoppable. I mean, I think he hit 40-something homers. Yeah.
So the other thing that happened this week in baseball was a lot of nothing, I think, and this seems to come up every year now, and it doesn't happen, is rule changes. So they did implement one rule change, right? It's mound visits. So they've done a limit on the mound visits.
That's going to save you about
I think
41 seconds every 3 months.
Yeah, hang on, I think I'll wet myself. But they did not do the pitch clock, which we seem to talk about every year. And so, first off, I think Nick just alluded to what we were going to say. I just don't see this making any difference whatsoever.
No, the visits to the mound's not going to make any difference. The pitch clock wouldn't make any difference either. You can't do the pitch clock.
I agree with you.
Just leave it alone. Like, you can't... Okay, there are a lot of pitchers out there that take their time, get the ball back, walk around the mound, do all that stuff. I hate it. But also, as a fielder, as somebody that plays behind a pitcher like that, I hate that. I can't play like that. So the players have to kind of take it upon themselves. If this is a topic of conversation, like they need to be more cognizant of it. Now the pitchers do it for a reason, because obviously you have a couple more seconds to recover from that 100-mile-an-hour pitch that you just threw.
Oh yeah, and it's a cat and mouse game between pitcher and hitter. That's always been.
I think what you should do. So you never really, when you're at the games, you're at the stadium, you're in the stands. You don't really, you're like, oh, this takes forever. You don't really have that when you're there. So why don't you bring some of the fan experience to the television?
Here's my problem, I think, with the game, and this is my ultimate thing with it, and I talk about this all the time. You and I are baseball guys. We play baseball. We love baseball. So to us, none of this stuff matters. We're gonna watch baseball anyway, and we're gonna be into it. But the problem is that baseball has become so polarizing of a sport. If you are a baseball person, you're in, and you want to go to the games, and you want to watch it on TV, and you want to talk about it. But if you're not, they've already clicked off of From the Hill when we start talking baseball, and they're not going to go to the games. They're not going to watch and they're just always going to say, well, it's too slow, and it needs.
Well, then who cares?
So
then who cares?
Well, I think
like if you're gonna have that mindset into it anyway, why are we changing our life for you?
Well, I just think that what's happening here is that we're worried that because baseball keeps quote unquote declining, right? But at the same time, when I look at it, I think baseball's healthier than ever regionally. The fact that you can't talk about it nationally, and I always joke about you're not supposed to talk about it right on your podcast because people will tune out if they're not baseball guys. But you know what? We have plenty of baseball.
Don't say that.
Listen, yeah, we have plenty of baseball people that listen, so we'll talk about baseball.
This free agent stuff is a step in the right direction, and the reason for it is because
collusion.
No, whatever it is, it's a step in the right direction because it opens the door for younger, more exciting guys coming up. You need to keep the flow going. You can't retread the same guys all the time. And there's a lot of guys on that list that I wouldn't take. I really wouldn't. So that's one part of it. The other part is I think that you need to, if you're really hunting for fans, there are people out there that enjoy a nice ball game every once in a while and they'll go watch the game and they enjoy being at the stadium. So when I said bring some of the stadium to them, it's like don't cut away every time they make, if you're down 1, 2, 3, maybe don't cut away to a commercial. Maybe show the Fanatic for a minute, or show the stupid, when they put the ball in the hat and it goes around. Like maybe bring the jumbotron to the TV, or just stupid things like that.
Agreed.
The other thing is you don't need to after a strikeout, you go around the horn. Do you need to go around the horn every time?
No.
I think you can get rid of that.
Sure.
Cut down on some of the commercial time.
Sure.
Do you need to throw ground balls to shortstop, second base, third base 3-4 times every inning? Nope. Take away from that.
Yep.
But that's ad stuff.
I agree.
So they don't want to lose that.
I totally agree with you. And I was going to say, so one of the things we were talking about is, and we've done this all the time on the show, and the king is going to give you the power now, right? He just gave you the power. Give the fans the power. You get to change baseball. What rule changes do you want to see implemented? I've heard some crazy ones get floated around. Actually, one.
And I hate all of them.
I heard a crazy one that actually I thought was kind of interesting, but also terrible. I heard in the ninth inning.
Yeah, this was on the Rich Eisen show.
Yeah, you could send up any 3 hitters you want.
Yeah, well, let's just
ruin the game. Let's just completely change.
Why can't you just put whatever pitcher? I mean, I guess you can put whatever pitcher you want in, but it's so stupid.
I had an interesting rule for you. I think I would like to see implemented only because I feel like it would cut down on time, and I hate where the game has gone with so many specialized relief pitchers. I feel like we need a minimum batter face rule for a relief pitcher.
It's part of the strategy of the game.
I know, but I don't care.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't want to see a pitcher come in to face one guy.
All right, well then, when your guy is the guy pitching and he gives up a 700-foot bomb,
well, yeah,
you can't complain we should have put in.
Well, you can't because that's a rule. That's what I'm saying.
You can't do that.
I think that's.
It
should be a 2-batter minimum.
Don't take the game out of the game.
No,
that's part of baseball.
Ultimately, I agree with you. I don't think that you can make too many changes. But to your point, these games they're too long.
I just gave you 4 or 5 options to do.
But again, when we start talking about this part of it, it's just never going to happen.
Well, this is now the Duralast Philly Fanatic inning.
Yeah.
This is now the Dr. Scholl's, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
Dr. Scholl's.
sponsor these things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they do, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So instead of playing your stupid commercial that people are gonna walk away and get a beer anyway.
Who's the one for the Phillies all the time? WB Mason, like
WB Mason. It's the New York Life feed of the game.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, start sponsoring these things. They do them anyway. So instead of cutting away for a commercial for 2 minutes, maybe show the guys, even if they have to warm up, if they have to throw ground balls, sponsor it. Show the Fanatic. Show, go inside the booth with John Kruk and Mike Schmidt. People like to see some of that stuff.
Oh, sure.
That keeps things going. It keeps things entertaining. There's things going on. People want to force action all the time.
Right.
Sometimes just let the game be the game. You can't force baseball because every pitch is strategy. You don't, to the casual fan, you don't think that, but there's a reason that pitcher just threw the pitch where he did.
Sure.
There's a reason that the hitter just crushed it because he missed it. He missed his spot. There's a reason, I often think that they should show more of the field during the game. So when you always get the shot right behind the pitcher.
Right.
But there's a lot of moving parts, especially with guys on base. There's moving parts in the field. I like to, my wife hates going to games with me because I'm always like, oh, look at the guy moved over here. Like,
Right.
The reason he's doing that is because of this. There's a lot of stuff going on that to the casual fan you don't know, but to baseball people, we appreciate that.
Well, let me ask you a question about that. This is actually something that I'm pretty passionate about when it comes to this. How do you feel the shift has impacted the game?
It's part of the strategy. I don't think it's impacted it negatively. It's just part of the strategy now. So, you know what?
I mean, it's like why everybody does it now.
So
like
what
5 years ago, only like Ryan Howard or certain players get shifted. Now it's like every lefty hitter, there's a third down.
So then what you're going to see, and what I think you have seen, is that you don't have the typical monster pull hitter anymore. Like, you have guys that spray the ball everywhere, and there's a reason for that because when they come up through the minor leagues, they say, okay, well, if you're just a straight pull hitter, we're just going to slide a guy over here and play him, 80 feet behind first base.
Right.
And there's guys that are now working on certain things in the minors, and I think that this next group of guys, you're going to see a lot more athleticism and ability to put the ball to different places.
So,
you're not just going to see that prototypical pull hitter.
Right.
Obviously, they're still out
Sure.
there.
I don't disagree with you, but I also think it's contributed to this new age hitter that we've seen of either home run or strikeout because they'd rather, and especially as a left-handed hitter, they would rather strike out or hit a home run than ground into a double play because there's a guy out in the middle of right field.
No, with all the new statistics and stuff that teams are looking at, it's not that anymore. You're going to get your bopper in the lineup, but the main thing right now is guys being on base.
Well, that's the Billy Bean Moneyball, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we want Hattie at first. Why Hattie? Tell him because he gets on base.
Yeah, and that's the way things are going. But you're also seeing a lot of guys that are trained to play that way. So it makes it more entertaining. Guys like Seager, Corey Seager, guys like Moncada. These are guys that are supposed to be generational guys, and they can do everything, and hit for power too. So you're still gonna have the power aspect of it. Now, is it Barry Bonds where he's gonna hit 70-something home runs? That was how they tried to get guys back in the game, and people love that.
Oh yeah, everybody chicks dig the long ball.
So it's another one of those NCAA things. Like, okay, if you really want that, let the guys shoot whatever they want.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So hit 70 home runs a year, just be absolute monsters.
What do you want to be?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
But I love the game the way it is. You can cut back on time. It's possible.
I'd like to see
without changing the game.
I would like to just see 10 minutes trimmed out of the game, which I feel like could be done easily with some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
When you think about it, what's 10 minutes?
It's a huge deal.
I think that it's more the pace than the actual length.
Yeah, and the pace of game is never going to change, right? Because that's the way the game is.
Yeah, I like pitchers speeding it up a little bit, but make it known to them that we're trying to move this way. You don't change.
You can. I don't think you'll ever be able to implement a pitch clock.
No, I don't think it's a good idea.
No, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
They are working on some automated solutions for balls and strikes and things like that.
All right. Do you want to see robots calling balls and strikes? Do you want home plate umpire calling? I don't.
No, he won't ever be gone. He won't ever be gone. But they did. This was a couple of years ago, I think, where Eric Burns. If you've ever watched Eric Burns, he's kind of a nut. But he actually did it. He was at a minor league game, and they tested it at a minor league game. I guess it was, there's this system that can tell what's a ball, what's a strike, and if it's a strike, the umpire gets a little buzz, calls a strike. But he's still there for plays at the plate, appeals at first, check swings, things like that. So they're moving certain ways where they're getting the calls right. That's the first thing, because replay, obviously, everything's replayed.
I hate
everything's replayed.
So how do you feel about replaying baseball?
Speed it up. You can speed it up.
I hate it.
It's so easy to speed it up. You have four big fat guys usually walking toward home plate, taking their time. Then they got to walk back out, say out. Then the manager's got to come out and yell at them. Then it's ridiculous. You can speed it up. We can see it in real time at home.
Oh yeah.
Just go to that. It's really simple.
I agree. I totally
Same
agree.
thing. Earpiece in.
Just
shut my earphones off.
Did it?
Earpiece in the umpire's ear. You want to replay it? Good. What do you got?
Right.
Be
Well,
safe.
that's it.
Be
You
safe.
got a guy in the booth.
Easy.
He's watching it. They challenge the play. He knows in 10 seconds if he's out or safe. That's
These
it.
are all basic things.
I'm with you, man. I don't get why they don't do them now. I don't get it.
Well, I'll have a talk with Manfred.
Yeah, we'll get Manfred on the line here.
All right.
He's busy with the collusion talk right now, so he's not too sure if we can get him on the show. But Manfred, yeah, hit us up and get you on the show. We'll talk about this stuff.
Baseball talk.
Baseball
Call in.
talk. That's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. As always, Nick and I appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you think about the new audio here with the new mixer. We got some exciting things in the works. Like I said, we're going to be setting up some remote shows. So we'll be letting everybody know where we're going to be at, so you can come out and be a part of the show when we record our next show on remote.
Yep, and you can pick up your swag there once you hit subscribe.
That's it. You subscribe to get your swag. We got new stuff coming out. Nick alluded to it. We're going to have the logos. Going to get the logo stuff and stuff printed on. I got the hats coming in. So, yeah, hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear. And like I said at the beginning, remember, guys, give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscribe. If you like the content, come on, guys. Tell us in the comment section of the video. That's what it's for.
Come on.
If you don't like it, don't give us a thumbs down, though. We don't like the thumbs down.
We appreciate all the feedback.
We appreciate everybody. That's going to do it.
Thanks, guys.
For the prop, swags, out.
See ya.